We're recording the call. Hi there, everyone. This is
Okay,
Marbeth
well,
Pelly,
I would like to,
Eileen.
and this is Eileen, and I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. We're very excited that we're able to offer this publicity speed dating, and hopefully this is something we'll continue on for as long as it's needed. And I'd like to thank Mary Beth Pelly, who is bringing quite a lot of her own experience as well as her professionalism as a marketer to us. And I really appreciate that she's taken the time to review everyone's marketing kits so that you can put your best foot forward on October 8th. And we'll keep in touch with you via email about the day itself. So let's just focus today on your kits. Okay, over to Mary Beth.
All right, thanks, Eileen. Yep, I'm going to try to do everything in about an hour. I hope to get the most information in that time. If we need to run over, it'll be to answer your questions that come up. If you think you're going to have some noisy background, please mute your line. I have control over the audio right now, but when we open the line up, if all goes well, if there's some background noise, just mute yourself so we can keep it easy for everyone to concentrate. And there is a chat box. If you want to submit a question, I will try to make sure that I'm looking down at this little chat box and I capture all your questions. So let's get started. So if you don't know me, I just want to give you a quick background about me. My current role is with Booktown. I am their event planner. I've been working with Rita Maggio here in Manasquan for about 4 years. And she needed an event planner, and I had experience with marketing. My business, I have my own business. I work from my home office, and I help small businesses developing their marketing through effective marketing systems. So essentially, I'm helping them to grow their business and think like marketers. That is my ultimate goal with them. So same with booksellers. I want you to think beyond just being a bookseller and thinking like marketers. My experience has crossed over 18 different industries. So the advantages that I have with working with Booktown is that I can pull what's worked in other industries and apply them to the book selling industry. So that's been a lot of fun. I continuously invest in my marketing education, just like you guys do with your conventions and conferences. I also get on a plane and go sit with a bunch of marketers, and we learn what's working and what's not in this ever-changing economy. I do have some speed dating experience, and it's with BEA, so I want to take my experience and kind of help you guys have a really good experience on the day that you participate in the New York speed dating session with Naiba. If you want to learn anything more about me, please visit my website at marbethpelly.com. So I have a lot of people on the call. There was a question when you registered if you had a press kit, and a lot of you, almost more than 50%, said that you don't have a press kit. So I just want to dial it back and make sure that we're covering the basics. So my definition of a press kit is that it's a promotional document that highlights your most unique selling propositions. Okay, so it's a promotional document, and it helps you stand out from your colleagues in a way that is unique to you. Okay, so my motto with my clients is same as lame. I even sometimes I put post-its on my computer when I'm trying to write a marketing document because I don't want to make my clients sound like the same as their other colleagues in their industry. So you want to present your press kit to be unique for you. Okay. Why do you need a press kit? So why would you want to go through this effort? Well, for the reasons why I see it's important is that it helps you. This exercise of putting this together is a succinct marketing document to help you articulate and communicate what is special about your store. Okay, so you're a bookstore, you don't just sell books, but what do you do? How do you go about that differently? How is it a special experience for your customers and for your authors? That's what you want to be able to enunciate and articulate in paper. So people in a snapshot can get that sense, can get that idea and understand your personal branding. Okay. It also is a very good tool for your staff to train when you're in training, even if it's for just a reminder of your staff to let them know this is what makes us unique. This is how we stand out from the pack in a sense. why our community likes us, why our publishers and our authors enjoy coming here. This is what these are our highlighted successful attributes about our store that make us unique. So it's a very good tool for your staff to understand what makes your store unique. Okay, so those are the 3 reasons why I think that this process is very important. So there's 5 important elements that I feel should be in a press kit. Okay, and we're going to go through them slowly as much as I can. I talk fast, but I want you to pay attention to, so for the folks that don't have a press kit, pay attention to the content that has to go into the document. Don't get caught up later when when I go over examples of the press kits from different stores, what their design is. I call that window dressing. That's going to come later. So for right now, if you don't have a press kit, make sure that you're getting the major important elements down on paper and they're articulated clearly. If you already have a press kit, okay, look and make sure you're not overlooking the basics. I have a lot of times with clients who are very mature in their promotions marketing, and they overlook because they're too close to it sometimes to see that they miss some basic contact information, or putting some basic elements down in a way that's clear for someone with fresh eyes who doesn't know their business. Okay, so the first element is making sure that your press kit tells who you are. Complete contact information. I personally like footers on the document, so no matter what page I'm on, I'm always able to glance at who I'm talking about. You know, who is this press kit from? So I like headers and footers. I like the use of logos. If you have a logo, don't worry if you don't. A photo of the store to identify it, kind of give me an idea of what the atmosphere in where you are in location. Of course, your address, your website, your phone number, and a contact name. Okay, who can I contact? I want to talk to a person. So that's very important. Just don't put a generic phone number. Tell me who I need to get on the phone with or email to. All right. Where are you? So tell me where you are. Tell me what your drive time and distance from major cities are. Okay, so when I say tell me, I want to make sure you understand that this press kit is going to be your reader of your press kit is going to be the busy publicist, the publishers who, I know you've talked to them on the phone, they're very busy, they're short on time, they're always looking for instant information, so they can make a better decision about sending you an author. So this is important for them to know, is my author going to be able to get to your store easily? How far is it? How much is it going to cost me? And you don't need to give them the cost of travel, but in their mind, they're able to see what's going to be required to send an author to your store. So given the drive time and distance from major cities, airports, public transportation stops, how far your store is from there. Give them the demographics of your area. Don't leave out that it's a beach community, if it's affluent, if it's a family-oriented, if it's a summer resort location. Make sure you're kind of giving them a composite of what type of environment community your store is located in. It's very important because they're trying to better match an author to the type of community that you're in. And that leads into the third one, is making sure when you're telling about who you are, you're describing your community. Is it built of families? Does it have a lot of schools? Is it urban? Are these commuters? Are these young people? Are they young business, young professional, elderly, a senior retirement area? So make sure that you're giving them a very good idea of where your store is located. I mean, you worked hard on getting this location for your store. Promote the parts of it that are going to help sell your store. Okay, so you also want to include what is already working as far as marketing, okay? So you want to list your current event marketing channel. So what do? You probably, even if you're young in doing event marketing, you have a system in place, even if it's just putting up a flyer in the window, having some things on your counter, and putting a marquee outside. Whatever you're doing is, sorry for that typo, I see it right now. You want to make sure that you understand that you have a system, and that you have that you explain that to the publisher in your press kit. Okay, so you have social media accounts, you have a newsletter, you have do you do print ads, Maybe for your big events, you only do print ads if you can justify the ad dollars. What kind of online advertising do you do? Also include your signage. Any other type of public poster drops that you do. If you're putting things up in the local coffee shop, or if you have people that will help spread the word by passing out flyers, if you have other people in your neighborhood that will help spread the word, put those things down that are already working. If you have bigger channels of communication, like if you're sponsoring something on a radio, put those things in when you have the advantage of marketing, using that to market your events. It's very important for the publisher to say, okay, they understand that you're plugged into different collaborators that are going to help market that. All right. Is everyone seeing my screen? I'm on a screen right now that says 5 important elements. If you could just send me a quick in the chat, you can send me something that says that you see my slide that says 5 important elements of a press kit, and it says what is already working. Someone could just do that. Let me see here. Maybe you want to, Eileen? Okay.
Yes, I'm not seeing that slide.
Okay. Let's make sure. So it says paused. Okay, does everyone see my screen? Eileen, what do you see?
I see the screen that says 5 important elements. It was what is already working. I see that screen, and I see your mouse moving.
And I just corrected my slide.
And you just corrected your. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to make sure that I didn't lose anyone. So I'm just going to scroll back real quickly. We're going to just make sure that we can see our slide. So the 5 important elements were who you are, okay, where you are, what is already working in marketing, okay, that's where I ended. All right. And we're going to be talking about the next step is one of the 5 important elements of the press kit is highlight your events. Now, I looked at a lot of the press kits, and I'm going to make my comments about the event listing, but I want you to list only last year's events. Publishers, the directors of publishing, the people who are making the decision want to see how you've been doing in the last recent amount of time. So 2010, 2009, you may have had awesome events and they're really proud of them, but they're really just too far out of their scope. A lot of things have changed. They just want to see what you've been doing recently. So if you have a lot of events, pick your top 10 that are going to highlight your strengths. If you don't have a lot of events, put your events down and make sure that they're listed in priority as far as success, okay? And we can talk about different ways to lay that out later. But I just want you to know you want to keep this current. So it's definitely an annual event of updating your press kit if you already have a press kit. You don't want to send something that has age on it. It's dated as far as not current. All right. You want to show a variety of events that cross different genres, age groups, seasons. Okay, that's important to understand what your specialty is. If you only have children events, and you have, if you only have children events and or middle readers, that's fine. You're going to have a variety within that age group, and that because that's what you focus on. So when you're talking about your events and you're listing them, include this information: the date, the author, the title, the publisher, total sales, and total attendance. It helps them understand that, okay, yes, you can book an event, but let's see what you can get out of the event, okay? And how supportive is your community of it? It's a very important kind of short, quick timeline to give the publisher contact that information. They can help make a better decision and match for your store. All right. All right, I'm moving on. Okay, so who are your partners is a very important piece of the press kit. I want to know, I call them with my clients, I call them, who are your centers of influences? Okay, who do you partner with? Who have you worked on relationships in your community that help you either co-market or co-collaborate or co-host an author in your area? And those relationships show the publisher that they have a wider reach than just the store's network. And it's a very important piece. If you don't have any partnerships, you want to start thinking about developing them and get that time devoted to developing partnerships that are going to help you market and expand the level of events that you're having. But if you already have been working on your partnerships, making sure that you're looking at your best centers of influences, the best partners that you have established and promoting them in your press kit. So for example, libraries, community centers, universities, local theaters, people that are going to help get the event information out to a wider scope. Very important. Okay. You work very hard for those relationships, so don't overlook them. Okay. Now we're going to get into showing you examples of press kits. And I really want to thank the people who have registered for this call and they have sent me their press kit. They're going to give you a wide variety of ideas of how to present this information in a document. But again, for those people who don't have a press kit, don't get caught up in design yet. I want you to concentrate on content, getting those elements, those important elements down on paper, and then like what I call window dressing, deal with that later, okay? All right. For people who have already been, they're pretty mature in their press kit presentation, I'll start looking at highlighting their content for ease of reading, or I'll look at their design a little bit more. But then there's people who have submitted things that are not design, heavy in design, but they have good content. It's just that they need some help with the layout. Okay. And don't be discouraged if you only have one page. I think that's fine. I personally like 1 to 3 pages of a press kit. We're going to see some long ones and short ones. So anyway, keep it in perspective. We want to keep it simple. You want to make sure that you're pulling from these examples what you can model. You don't want to copy your colleagues' work. You want to model it. You want to pull out the pieces that you think you can work and present well to promote your store. All right, so I just want to make sure I don't have any people saying that they don't see with their attendees. Okay, looks like everyone's following along. Okay. So we have, my first example is going to be from Sparta Books. And I'm going to pull it up for you, and I'm going to expand it. Get down to the first page here. All right. And let's see here. This press kit was submitted by Donna for Sparta Books. So thank you again. Gives me a nice picture and a good idea of where her store is located. She's in a connected shopping center with a nice size window. So I get an idea right away about the type of store location that she's in on a general high level. Again, let me just preface before I get into these examples. Remember who your audience is for these documents. They are those busy publicity directors in the publishing area, or it's your authors, okay? So it's not a consumer. You're not writing this to a consumer, or you're writing this maybe to a media outlet as well. But for this call, for this purpose, I'm assuming that we're handing this to the publishing contact. So you know when you call them, when you talk to them, they're very busy. They're being hit with a lot of different information and requests from different bookstores. So we want to be very succinct in getting our information to them. So Sparta Books has done a good job in putting together a lot of information for us. Right away, I know who they are, and I'm finding out about what they do, or where they are. And what I'd like in this paragraph about Sparta Books is I'd like to know exactly, real quick, how much capacity they can handle in their store. So they have nice paragraphs with important information in it, but because I'm busy and I'm looking at a document real quickly, I want to be able to scan it and pull out the information that I'm looking for right away. So for Donna's store, Donna, if you're listening, just bold this line and put some important numbers in there, the capacity for your store. Then we have these nice bullets. It tells me good information about the store. But as I had scrolled through this document, it is, as you can see, long. And in my opinion, it has good information, but it's too long. It's too many pages. It's going to be a large attachment to an email. Okay, let's keep going. And they're having a great time here at Sparta, and I love it. Great spirit, great energy. That's what those pictures give, but it's too long of a document. They're not going to scroll through this all. It's too much. So you want to look for ways in this document, Donna, to eliminate a lot of the paragraphs, maybe reduce the font size. I'm going to go through the beginning again. I have some ideas up here. Size of pictures, okay, they don't need to be that big. I know you're very proud of them because these are awesome faces on these kids. Put it on your website. Create albums on your Facebook page, but reduce them here so we can get this down to about 3 pages, okay? So as you're going through your bullets, also make sure that you're not being repetitive. We have a following on Twitter, and you mentioned Twitter a few times in your document. And I want to keep that, again, looking for succinctness. So you want to make sure that when you mention your Twitter and your Facebook social media accounts, that you're mentioning it clearly and it's in the document once. It's identifiable. Now, if I'm a publisher, I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, they're Sparta books. They're about this size. Sparta feels comfortable putting their annual sales in there. That's fine. You don't have to do that. But it gives the publisher a very good idea of what size store they are. So they're busy. It's a busy store. And back here where it says about Sparta, this is all very good information. I would like it bolder, especially from cities that I know the publishers are going to be coming from. So again, 45 miles from New York City. That's awesome. That's a very good location from the vicinity of where most of the authors are coming from. So that's helpful. Again, bulleting so I can scan it. I'm not reading detail at first. If I'm interested in what I see, I'm going to go back and read the detail, so keep it scannable. Sparta Books has included this link, and I went through and watched the link. It's a virtual tour of Sparta, and it's beautiful. It tells me about the surrounding area. But I'm suggesting to Sparta to leave that link off, only because it's so geared to the vacation market. It has nothing to do with the shopping district, where the store is located. Are those people who are going to Sparta on the lake, are they actually going to get off the lake and go into the shopping district and buy books? I'm not sure. I can't tell that from the video. So for succinctness, I would leave off that link. If you have another Chamber of Commerce video that accents your shopping district of where your store is and the buyers that are involved, the foot traffic, I would put that link. So I like the idea of having a link, but this link in particular deals specifically with the tourism market, and I don't think it's aiding in the decision of buying books. Okay, so I hope that's helpful for Sparta Books. Again, if also I wanted to say about Sparta Books, do a spell check. Like something came up in our review here, and it just caught my eye. Right here, representative. So just make sure that you're doing your spell checks. And also, because of the length of this document, did we talk about this? I want to make sure that there's footers on each page and numbered. These pages, if you can't reduce this right away and you got to hand it in to someone, at least number the pages and get a footer on there to make sure that if a page gets separated, if they print it and it gets separated, that they still can contact you. Okay. I hope that was helpful, Donna. All right, so my next example is going to be, I'm going to pull up Erins Books. Okay, Erins Books is over here. Erins Books, I want to point this out to Erin, okay? Erins Books, the name of your file, 2012 Publisher Media Kit, if you're going to attach that to an email, you want to make sure that your file name of your document has your store name in it, so they know who it is and what it is. So it would be Erins Books Media Kit and the year. Okay, so I want to tell that for everyone. So that's a teaching tool for everyone. Make sure. So Sparta Books had their file name labeled right. It just helps. Okay, everything, all these little details will help them if something gets separated. So here's Erins. Put this up in full screen here. Make sure you guys can view this. All right, so Erins Books is nice. It's a 3-page document. I'll scroll through here. It's a lot of white space. It's easy to read. They have their contact information right here, their logo. I love these boxes. Right away, I can look at it in a glance and say, okay, this is how far they are from the major cities. This is great. I can make decisions on this. Here are some demographics about the size of their community. These are their options of how I could get an author to their store. Excellent. The second page, this is on the left here, the red, they have their headers. I love the headers on the top here. That's clearly identifying who they are. I love that they highlight the different things that they do in the community. I love these section headers. So I easily know what I'm going to be looking at with the content below. Very helpful. To give them some feedback for Erins Books, I would say update your photos. I want more recent events. Again, the pictures are excellent. It shows me the space provided by the room. I'd like to know what you've been doing in the last year. So if you did, let's see, so it's 2014. If you showed me events from 2013, I'd feel a little more confident in this document. I know, okay, they're continually being active. Okay, right here on page 3, this is a connected document. When it comes attached, it's 3 pages, at least it was for me. So maybe I'd add page numbers just so I know what page I'm looking at. But it's when you print it, it's three pages. It looks really good. But I love that they have their media contacts here. So I'm assuming that these are relationships that they have built. They can contact the Daily News, or someone from the publisher could contact the Lebanon Daily News and speak to Bill Warner. So you just want to make sure, because in my mind, I'm saying, okay, 2010, 2011 photos, are these contacts up to date? So I would just want to make sure that we remove any doubt when we're presenting this to the publishers, that they know that this is current and up-to-date information. All right, so that would be my comment there. And also, what I didn't get from Erins Books is what are their social media? Okay, they look like they have all this outside reach of other media contents. I like that, but I'm just wondering, like, what do they do themselves? So let's see. I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking for newsletter. I'm looking for their social media and their social media accounts. So I would definitely add that information to their most recent edition of this. So I would put the date on it when it's been updated, and get that there, because that social media aspect, that arm of marketing, is very important, as you all are learning. My other comment to Erins Books is this first paragraph has such great information. If you look at it here, it says, Erins Books is dedicated to a triple bottom line: people, planet, then profit. I love that. That is unique. It's unique to them. I think that should be highlighted. So maybe I'm thinking, instead of redesigning this whole paragraph, they just take the bold off take off the bold on the font for these 2 paragraphs and only bold these awesome statements. Okay. Also, I would bold that they are in this historic, thriving section of Pennsylvania. That to me sounds character. It's going to be it may work really well with historic type authors, historic fiction authors. You may have that type of community that's interested in learning about history. So I'd like to actually bold that more in this paragraph. I think whatever is in this paragraph, every statement is equal the way it is now, but make them more important, make some statements more important than the others. All right, and also what I would do in this for Aaron Books, because of this lovely location that you have, maybe squeeze in a photo of the store or the front of the store, so I can get an idea of, you know, what your store looks like. Just, you know, store windows, that kind of stuff. All right, so we're going to reduce that. We're going to go to the next. Let's make this a little bit cleaner. We're going to go to the next example. How are we doing, Eileen? All right, I'm just checking to make
We're doing really well, and I think this is such a great program. Thank you, Mary Beth.
All right, just let me know if I have any, if I gone glazed over something too fast. All right, so my next example is going to be Penguin Bookshop. This is a really great press kit. Again, thank you to Penguin for sending this in. I liked it because, my gosh, it's just such a clean looking logo with that awesome picture right there. They're located in Pittsburgh. I understand I'm looking at a press kit. These simple things help with the scanning and the readability of the document. I like that they have a table of contents. I like that they have pages. They have 5 pages. So in my book, you know, it's long, but I can deal with it if it's going to be easy to read. So I'm going to scan right through this, and I want to point out some things on this page. So they tell me when it was updated, so I have no doubt in my mind that it's all going to be current. I don't want to look at anything that's stale. And I'm looking at the paragraph I'm reading through here, and again, just on a scannability about Penguin, in those paragraphs about Penguin and Meet the Owner, I'd like to highlight some of the more powerful, stronger, like this, about this community. Okay, things about your community, exclusive collection, you know, pull out things that are going to be stand out and promote the store stronger. So everything right now in these 2 paragraphs is equal. Pull out, bold them, bold some things that are going to be promote your store stronger. Now we have a meet the owner paragraph, which I think is great. I think it's important to understand who's backing the store. But then I was hoping that I would see these images. I would at least see the owner, or I would see a paragraph that relates to their renovated space. So I guess that is this. And I tell you this, both of these pictures are, you know, they didn't immediately connect with me with the paragraph. So I would like a picture of the owner here where the penguin is, and also brighten this picture up or get a better picture. If this is your renovated space, I don't know, I would just do it a little bit more. It's not doesn't have the, you know, it probably doesn't come across what you want. These two photos were not as relevant as I would have liked, especially if they're on your first opening page. All right. So again, you have great information. The way you present it is awesome here. You have your events. I would like some dates. Let's see. Okay, so you say that they're from 2014. Okay, so again, as when it comes to formatting, bring this paragraph down here to the listing here, so I know that they're together. I don't have to hunt for information. Again, I'm scanning at this really quickly. So right away, they give me good information. And these pictures are very good. These pictures show people. They don't show me empty rooms. These people show me engagement. These authors, they're comfortably in contact with their customers. I like that. That shows me how your author events are going to be set up. And that's what authors want. They want to be able to be in a space that's going to just produce a magical moment. We work really hard about that in Booktown. So again, let me know, you know, again, making sure that your pictures translate and have an impact. Not just because you like them or you feel fondly about that space. Make sure that the pictures are representing that space really well. And this is very cute. I get it's a penguin, but again, how is it adding value to the press kit? All right. I would like footers on every page here. You already have the numbers, move the number over maybe, and have the footer in case it's printed and gets separated. Now, I really love this. Their marketing. So they're telling me what marketing is already in place. They also tell me that they have a dedicated coordinator. So from a marketing perspective, I love that. I think that's awesome. If I'm sending them YA authors, I'm going to be making sure that, you know, we talk about their marketing strategy on their social media. And also maybe get my author to be working with them in their social media, so tagging their accounts and whatnot. All right, so again, I'm looking for a strength in Penguin to make sure that we can match our authors perfectly to the store. And I'm saying, okay, they have dedicated time to their social media. That's awesome, and that's going to work well with my authors who are already active on social media. So they give me their followers. What I would add here, Penguin, if you're listening, I would put your account name so I can click on from this document. If it's received digitally, I can click on it and see your Facebook page right away. Click on your Twitter and go right there, and same with the others. Okay, also with your with your website, you put the link in there so you're consistent with that. You tell me how many subscribers you have. That's great. And they have targeted email blasts. And that to me stands out from a marketing perspective, probably because I know how important it is to target, but I just want to make it a teaching point for everyone on the call. The more you can target your email blast, the better it is for you. You know, at Booktown, we have story time and we have adult mailings. You know, story time, the people who are who are interested in only adult events don't want to really know about story time. So we have to make sure we take the effort to target our mailing lists and make sub lists within our mailing list. So to me, this tells me that Penguin gets that, how important that is to not barrage their community on their email list with every email. Okay, it's very easy to just blast everyone on the list. That's a little segue. Great pictures of the store. I mean, look at these awesome windows. I get a great idea of the shopping district. Okay, I would like to know, let's see. So right away, I just want to know what kind of demographics they are. So a little bit more maybe of their, I know it's history. I'd like to know their partners. I don't see their partners listed on here, and a little bit more of their community. So that's my feedback for Penguin. I think they did an awesome job. Again, it's 5 pages. I would love to get it down to 3. Maybe size these pictures a little bit smaller. I know you're proud of them, but they don't need to be that big. I just need to get an idea. And there's a lot of white space here. A lot of white space. You can make this smaller. But excellent contact information. Good job. Really clean, easy to read. I thought they did a good job. Okay, let's see. Let's pull up Dolphin Books. Dolphin Books. All right, Dolphin Books sent me 2 documents. This one was the one I'm going to highlight for the call. Let's move this wider. Hope everyone can read this. Move it to 150. Dolphin Books had also given me their program for school events, school author events. So I just wanted to speak directly to Dolphin on this. If I don't want you to include that with your press kit when you're presenting that to the publisher, unless it's a specific request for it or you think it's going to be required for your getting an author. It's, you know, you had a leave that document out and don't include it with your press kit. This is the document that I like, that felt closest to what your content and your press kit should be. So Dolphin has a really great header and logo. I love it. Okay, they're in Port Washington. I want to know who they are, where they are. So what it's missing here is your contact information up front. I need that right up front. Maybe if you can get one of your logos here to include that as a bottom. All right, that would be a nice, clean way of presenting it. But right away, I need that information. I need to know who I'm going to be talking to. So it's a charming independent bookstore. All right, they tell me where they are. Again, everything is equal in these paragraphs. Bold what I'm supposed to be looking at. Okay, you draw from an affluent neighboring communities. That is awesome. Very important. Highlight that. Make that bold. You have a cafe and a store that can accommodate 100 plus people. Bold that. That's important. And you have partnerships here. Okay. All right. And so we team up with our local. Okay. So you already have an established partnership with them. Okay. Clarify that exactly and tell me what size the landmark and the public libraries can hold. All right, so we aggressively promote with, now here it is. This is great. They're telling me that they have a newsletter. They're telling me how many subscribers they have. They're telling me what they do as a process. They're putting up windows. They post to their social media sites. Excuse me. Again, make clickable links to these sites. Twitter, Instagram, okay? Instagram is up and coming. It's mostly a photo social media. I like to know how that's working for Dolphin. If it's hitting the market that is book buyers, I'd like to know what the return is on that. Here it is. They have counter handouts. They have 4x5 handouts. I like that. So they're producing a lot for one event. So that makes me feel okay as a in the publicity department. I'm like, okay, so they have an internal system. Now they have an outreach system for their local media. Okay. So I'd like to know if they do paid ads or if they're just sending press releases to get on the online calendars. And I like that they have an outdoor display. Again, I'd like to see maybe a picture of the store right here real quick. Maybe next to this, small. Okay, you got plenty of white space on this. Just to tell me, I'd like to see your window space. I'd just like to see what is your foot traffic visibility. All right, and this is awesome. So they do have this reaches over 30 partnership with. Okay, so they put this important information down here. Again, I would bold that. So again, even if you have it bullets, you can still bold some of your bullets to stand out. So this is all not considered equal. Pull out your best, strongest, and bold them. All right, so now again, here's their listing of their top events. They just list names, which is great. But I would make it easier on the publicist, your reader. I would put it in a chart form or a list form of what we said was important in the important elements slide. The author, the date, the publisher, the author, the title, the total sales, and the total attendance. Again, I know that you can book events, but can you turn that into sales? That's what I want to know as in the publicity department and as the publisher. Okay, and they're also reporting to these sources, which is important for the author. All right, so real good. So definitely add your contact information. That's important. Add a photo to break it up. We call this eye fatigue. You put too much copy on a marketing document. They claim that people get eye fatigue. I believe that it is because when you're scanning, you want things to capture your attention and hold you longer on the page. Same thing goes with like a website. So footers. So Dolphin, Bookshop, I hope that feedback is helpful to you. All right, so let me see who else I got here. Checking my chat, I don't see any questions. Let's see here, questions. Okay, Vivian, I hope you are on the call and got all that. This is going to be recorded. We are recording, so you can go back and kind of absorb all the information I'm sharing if you need to. All right, so let's see. We did Erins, we did Penguins, we did Dolphin, we did Sparta, Penguin. I want to do, I'm going to show you this one. This is nice. All right. This is Well-Read Books in Hawthorne. This is a trifold flyer. They probably used the template on a computer, which I liked. So again, folks who don't have a press kit, don't get scared by this. This is this is very advanced formatting, not necessary when you get started, okay? But if you have someone who can help you out with this, if you have someone who has a computer with a template, and they feel comfortable using it, go right ahead and plug in the information that you think. I liked how they laid this out. I like that it's a one-page. It's a trifold. It folds into 3 sections. So let's see here. Let me just move this down. Okay, so here's the front. If you fold it up, this is what you see first. So right away, I see people in front of the store. I see the logo. I love it. The windows, this is a great photo. I don't like when I see pictures of bookstores with empty rooms and empty storefronts. I really like people engaged. It gives me a sense of the spirit of the store from a marketing perspective. Okay. So they have their logo underneath, and right away they have their contact information down here. Again, part of the element of important information is, oh, here it is right here. This is who I'm going to get in touch with. I like that. So it's names of people I'm going to reach out to. Okay. Here it is, the description location. Love it. This is great. Look at a glance. I can see how far they are from my locations where I'm sending my authors from. Tells me how big the store is, what their maximum capacity is, and off-site venues. Like it. I love that they have their social media accounts right here. Key personnel. Okay. I like that they have someone dedicated to social media marketing. That helps. That helps. If they don't have the staff, no problem. I just want to know who's in charge. Who is my contact? Here's a nice paragraph about the store. This is a personal marketing piece of suggestion. Sometimes I feel that italicized font is difficult to read. If you have an older clientele, it's hard for them to read it too. But because that's just a side note on marketing documents. So be careful when you're doing flyers on how much italicized you use. But when you're giving it to the publicity, it's probably not going to matter any. I think, they're all young, busy people. So if they're young and busy, maybe I would change it to a straightforward font, okay? But I think this looks nice. I think aesthetically this looks nice. I like that, again, Bill and I have talked about his press kit before. I like that it was a husband and wife team. I think that should be put forth in his promotional material. I think that's neat. And so they did. And I like that. They have a husband and wife team. All right, so let me show you the other page here. This is the inside of the flyer. So when you open it up, the trifold, this is the information that they have inside. And so under public relations kit, he has all this media coverage. My question if I was in publicity, I'd be really excited if he was reaching out regularly to the Wall Street Journal and New York Times. But I want to clarify that. Is he? Or is it that's the papers that his community is reading? So again, I have a question, and I don't want to have a question you don't want your publicity contact to have any questions about when they're getting this document. So my question to Bill would be, are you advertising in that? How is that part of your media kit? Or are those just available magazines? And I'm thinking it's just available what their community reads. So I would reduce this down to the list that you use. That is the part of the important element of what is already working. Okay, what you do in print ad, what you do in online ad. Okay, this is their marketing process. Like it a lot. He could put his links in here, his social media handles in here. I like that he puts in the size of the windows. It's all good. It gives me a good idea of the store. His memberships. Okay, this is something he and I have talked about before. Bill and I have talked about this before. This is a chart. This is definitely what I prefer. I prefer a chart because at a glance I can see who he's had, the publishers he's worked with, where the venue was, title. He's missing sales and attendance. I would prefer that, again, because it shows me the flip side. You can book events, but how are they producing? Okay, so that would be maybe helpful. Now, some people may not be comfortable producing those numbers, but again, highlight your best ones. Okay, they understand in this industry that not everyone is going to be a home run, but highlight your best ones. All right, so again, these pictures are right size. They have a good little description under here. Again, I would just like to, I think these are fine. At a glance, I get a very good idea of the capacity of the store. I think they've done a great job on this. Great job. And again, this may be nitpicking, but I'm looking at it from the inside, and right away I just like maybe a footer. Maybe they can fit a footer of contact information here, but all I have to do is flip it over. Okay, but when it's in digital form, it's laid out flat. It's not folded in the physical form. I'd like to be able to scan that information and get in touch with them real quick. So that's my review for well read. I'm going to reduce that, and I'm going to show you book towns. Again, these are ever evolving documents, people. They don't have to be perfect. You're always working on them, so don't get frustrated and don't feel overwhelmed by this process. Again, book towns, we've worked on it. I'm constantly tweaking this document. It's to my liking at the moment. I'm sure I'll change it in 6 months. But we look at it annually. I have updated it for this call, so I wanted to make sure that I had the most recent information the way I like to present it. So here's book towns. It's a 2-page document. Okay. I created this in a template on my computer. That made it a little bit easier for me. I'm very comfortable using a template, but I certainly could have produced this in a Word document, okay, or Pages if you're on a Mac. My first paragraph tells them where exactly we are. I like associating Booktown to the Jersey Shore. It helps them understand that not only, what type of community we have. Right away, we have a year-round community that attracts families, young children, teens, and vacationers. Okay, I'm telling them where I'm located. And I want them to know that just because we're a beach community, we don't completely die off in the winter. We have a dynamic year-round community. So on the left here, important information, identify where we are. I tell them our accounts. I tell them our capacities. And it's very important because of our size, if you notice, that we have outside venues available to us. These are all active, updated, offsite venue locations. These are our partners. These are our drive times from primary cities. This is a chart that I find when I hand this over to the publicity department. I watch them and I watch where they go right away. They go right to this chart. They want to see if we've done business with them, who we've done business with. They want it, then they go right over here. Book sold and book into attendance. So I know that this chart has proven, I've never changed it from all the versions and varieties of formatting that I've done with our press kit. I know that this is the most important piece of information for them. Okay. So again, I preface that for all of you as a teaching tool to look to see how you're presenting the sales sales of your events. Key staff information is listed. I have a footer. I tell them I'm on social media. I don't need the logos anymore. I probably could get rid of them and just save, but it's important that they understand our Facebook. I don't have the number of followers. We need to boost our followership. So it's not a strong point, but I know that we're active in it. Okay, so I didn't put the number of followers. I feel like we need to be stronger in that. So I didn't put the numbers, but I want them to know that we are active. Okay, so on the left here is a market and media. So meaning the market, telling them about our area, and the media, what type of outreach that we do. Okay, so I let them know that we have an e-newsletter, that we're in a shopping district, that we have these ways of getting people in. These are other avenues that people get to find out about Booktown and our events at Booktown. So we have a preschool story time. We have an adult book club. When these people come into the store, they are immersed into our in our store environment, and they pick up information. We have a chance to give them information, hand them a flyer, talk to them about an upcoming event. We have active Facebook and Twitter accounts. We have a frequent buyer program, and we target mail in our e-newsletter just to these people, okay? Because these are our best customers. So we also market directly to them, and those best customers know other best customers. And so hopefully they'll bring their friends to Booktown. We have an educators night that has become very successful. That is another way to get out information about our events, and it's a wider reach. So these are marketing channels that are really working well for us. Took time, but are working well. These are our print publications. These are our online publications. This is a strong aspect of Booktown. We have a lot of school districts around us. If you are in that type of area, promote it in your press kit. It's important. So if I have authors that are a perfect match for a school district, we can do a school event and then have a signing back at the store. Okay, so it makes the trip of an author economical. They're getting more for their buck, basically. It's important for us to establish the idea that we have colleges, so larger venues, larger speaking series could be taking place at these colleges. We could be a liaison for that. That's important for me to tell the publishers. I want them to know that I have these relationships established and in my community within a reasonable amount of drive location. Okay. This is just to promote this. These are publications that we've showed up, and Rita has done a great job being active in the media. So these are just some of the logos that we're promoting and tooting our horn about it, and some of the awards that Rita has earned through ownership of the store. So most importantly, it gives them a good idea of how active we are at a shore community. Okay. So let me go back to my slides and finish up. We're almost done. So I hope those slides were helpful, those examples. What I want you to take from this call is, I want you to just take action. You have your speed dating session coming up, and I'll tell you, you want to use your press kit for that meeting. So if you want to have a driving deadline, get your press kit ready for that appointment. Don't go in up empty-handed. They're going to be meeting so many other colleagues of yours. You want to be able to have them look at something 2 days later and be able to reference your conversation by looking at your press kit. All right, so get your content organized. Identify what your unique selling propositions are. If you're stuck on what those are, if you feel like they're too same as lame type things, talk to your customers and ask them why your store is special to them, and figure out how you can put that back into your marketing. Okay. Know your audience. So know who's reading this press kit. I can't preface that enough during this call. You have busy executives, busy professionals who are pulled in a million directions, and have a lot of requests from a lot of bookstores from all over the country. You want to make sure that you're giving them the information that they want. Okay. Again, use a design that's scannable, easy to read. That's important. So when you're sitting in your speed dating session in New York, it's on October 8th. Talk to Eileen if you have not been registered. Again, use your press kit to make you memorable. Be succinct. When Rita and I did the BEA speed dating, we kind of got into a rhythm with what she would say. She would talk about the area of the store, the history of the store, identify herself as the owner, and I would talk about events. We were able to partner up in our meetings. Right away, you want to get really clear as to what information is going to be your best share during these meetings. And then when you hear that they are talking about different authors, or they're suggesting different authors for your store, because they'll come up, they'll start racing their brain and think, oh, well, we have these new authors coming up. Maybe this would be a good fit for your store. Take your press kit, okay? Have them circle the sections. Like if they're suggesting to you a YA author, circle you're strong in social media. Have them circle your social media section and tell them. I even take it out in front of me and I say, okay, well, just make a point to circle. And I tell them to circle the social media and make sure that they understand that, Dolphin's books is really good at social media, or Penguin books is really good at social media. They'll remember that, and they'll know that that's a closer fit. So it's not a vanilla type conversation. So when they look at your press kit, they'll put those two connections together and help, you can move along the conversation of getting that author booking. Just make really good connections. Identify who, after you're done with your speed dating sessions and you've met all these publishers and professionals, make sure you identify who your best fits were, and go back and keep in touch with them as you always do. I don't need to tell you all that, but it's important to follow up immediately after these press kit speed dating sessions, because they are meeting so many people. And so that's it, folks. I hope it was helpful. I know I talk fast. If you want any more marketing tips, please visit my website at maribethpelly.com. And I'm just going to check back here and just make sure that we have any questions. I'm going to try to I don't see any questions submitted. Okay, I see some old questions. I apologize, I didn't see that. Hopefully we resolve that problem. I'm going to try to unmute everyone and see if I have any questions out there that I can help you with. Just give me a minute. Sam, Janelle. Oh, it sounds nice and quiet so far.
Hello.
All
This has been
righty.
so good, Mary Beth.
I hope so. I hope I don't know how to do a mass unmute here, so I'm doing everyone individually.
Thank you. It was very helpful.
Okay, anything in particular that you think you can take action with right away?
For us, we're the Dolphin Bookshop. Hi, everybody. I'm Christy. I'm going to be updating our press kit. We have a good 3-page kit. I feel like there's areas I could condense, and then I feel like just, not having the 50 best events ever, having
Right,
just read
right,
events.
right,
Because
right.
they don't need to read all of that. Having
Correct.
the last year's events along with pictures, which you do have, but just really freshening it, updating it, and updating our following. For example, on Facebook, we're almost at 7,000, whereas last year, I know, we're working so hard at it.
Wow.
Last year we were around 4,000, so making sure my numbers were up to date and things like that. So this is, and small things like having a footer. I have my information up top, but I don't have a footer, and I love that. So this is really, really helpful to me. I can't wait to do this.
So glad. So glad.
And it's
good.
nice to talk to you.
nice to talk to you. I hope that the slides were moving and that everyone had access, easy access to the call. This is a little bit, new breaking ground to bring in all these people at once.
It's very high tech. Very high tech.
Yeah, very techy, right? Okay. Anyone else?
Thanks, Mary Beth.
Yep, you're welcome. Anyone
Thank
else?
you.
Thank
Questions?
you.
Okay. All right.
Great information.
Okay, you're welcome. I'm glad. Just let me know if you have anything that you're stuck about. I'd like to answer those questions so it can be a teaching tool for everyone.
Mary Beth, I thought you were very clear, and I think it was probably helpful for everyone.
Thank you. Good. Glad. All right. Donna, you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. How was that feedback for you?
It was great. It's clear, concise. I know exactly what I need to do.
Okay. Good. All right.
All right, well, we'll see everyone on October 8th, and we will send details over the next 2 weeks on what to expect and on the logistics of the day, and we're leaving you all to work on your press kits.
Yep.
Great,
and
thank you.
Yeah, and this is going to be recorded, so if you'll get the recording and email. Bye-bye.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Okay. How do you close out?